This is Scoreboard with Chris Titley. Powered by Swiftex. Where can crypto take you?
Hi, it's Chris Titley here, and on today's episode of Scoreboard, the podcast, I am joined by Katrina Powell. Katrina, thank you so much for being part of this series. And I have to say, before you say hello, that you are the first hockey-related guests in over 160-something episodes. You are number one. Welcome, Katrina.
Well, first of all, thank you for the welcome. Second of all, I love hearing that I'm number one. Brilliant.
There you go. And we are sitting here on Thursday, April 2. Some call it Easter Thursday, before the long weekend. Let's talk about your 2026, Katrina. How's it started? We're at 25% of the way through the year already.
Yeah, big start to the year because it started with moving across the country from Perth to Brisbane. So, big shift, a big transition into the next stage of life. So, yeah, I've moved back and forth across the country a couple of times. So it might not then, move back and forth to Perth from Sydney, from Canberra to Perth. But this time I drove across. So it felt like an even bigger move.
Wow, and the life of a person involved in sport and hockey from place to place. Your initial impressions of Brisbane?
Loving it. You do not have to sell this place to anyone. And in fact, I've worked out that people don't want you to sell it externally. So people stop, cramping the style that is Brisbane, but just absolutely loving it.
Yeah, good. Excellent. As a Brisbaneite through and through, I can only endorse that and say, yes, it is a lovely place to live. And right now, it's a beautiful day, actually, not too hot, not too cold. I'm off to the Gabba tonight to watch the Lions play Collingwood. Hopefully the rain holds off and they get a victory. But this is not an AFL podcast. This is a podcast about you, Katrina, your relationship with hockey. Hockey's been there in your entire life. I'm keen to understand your relationship with hockey now and how that's changed over time.
Yeah, I am obviously a huge supporter of hockey and our sport, and it's given me so much in my life. It's a big part of my family as well, and that's certainly how I started playing hockey. Was it was the family sport. Even through my national days, I played with my sister alongside me as well. And then, the absolute privilege of my life was coaching the Hockey Roos. So although it's really tough to say goodbye from working within the sport and playing the sport, I'm taking all of those life lessons and life experiences that I've had and just sitting now in a place of gratitude and all the things that I've got from hockey.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And what is it about hockey for the listeners out there that don't play and only watch that made you fall in love with the game?
It starts with family because, there's plenty of stories out there about older siblings starting to play sports, and so that's what you want to do. But I also remember going to watch my uncle play, and my grandparents would be there, my cousins would be there. So it was a big, broad family piece. But the actual sport of hockey and how intricate it is and how demanding it is, it's aerobic endurance, it is speed, it is athleticism, it is agility, and it is skill. It's one of the hardest sports to play. And the skill that it takes, the precision, the strategy that goes into it. Big fan. I mean, at times I just loved having a big stick to wield, but they were just minimal times. The competition, the challenge, and being able to represent your country at the Olympics. Oh my God, I got to play a home Olympics in Sydney. I'm that excited for Brisbane and what's to come, which is part of the reason why I've chosen Brisbane to live. But yeah, what we put on as Australians for our athletes and then winning in Sydney, oh my God, love it.
Yeah, no, it feels like you can't get enough of it. And obviously going back to those moments and the teammates, the 25th anniversary last year, etc. Do you still have a little WhatsApp group? Do you still chat around? And is there still some connection there?
Yeah, there is still some connection there. You know, we're all a little bit older and hopefully a little bit wiser, but certainly still competitive. We're a really competitive group of women, which is I think what helped us to become so successful amongst other things. But yeah, that competitiveness and that desire for getting the best out of yourself and the best out of others, that's what remains.
I'm curious along the process of that particular campaign and how you were were you running your own, swimming in your own lane? Were you looking about what other teams were doing? And then the ideation of like visualization of gold, was it always there in terms of that was the goal, or was it to try and get the best out of yourself and see what happened?
It was always there for us. So that meant striving to get the best out of yourself in order to get that outcome. We definitely talked about how we were only able to deal with what was in our control. And you have to be the best that you can be personally, the best team that you can be together, so that magnifies all of the talent in the group. And then you turn up on the day and you give your best and your best performance. You put your mindset in the right place about what you're trying to achieve. But yeah, I'm a believer, if you don't already have that goal out there, if you already don't have that purpose, then how does that dictate what you do each day? So each day is critical, but you have to have your eye on the prize as well. And we would just kind of put it out there. It's a bit of a background piece, which is we want to be playing in the last game on the last day of competition at the Olympics. That's the gold medal game. You put yourself in
That's
that race.
the gold medal game, but it wasn't the not loud and proud and saying we're going. This is it. We're going to win the gold medal. Blah blah blah. Early on in the campaign, it's like if we're there on the last day, that gives us the best chance of winning, right?
Yeah, and if you're there personally, because one of the strengths of the group that I played with was the competition for spaces in the team, and the team didn't get picked until 4 weeks out. So if you got ahead of yourself, if you were saying, well, I'm going to go and win Olympic gold medal, someone would say, oh, you're already picked, are you? Head down, bung up, become the best player that you can be. That's out of your control whether you actually get picked or not. You put yourself in the best place to be picked. And then, yeah, those outcomes become the outcomes. So I think we're a little bit different to other athletes that can go, right, yep, I'm going for Olympic gold. This is what I'm doing. We had such strong competition for places that if you put your head up for too long to go, yep, I'm going to go win a gold medal, someone would go, you're not there yet. We're not good enough yet. The time isn't up yet on the time that we have to practice and be better. Head down, thumb up, the best team will go.
And just touching on the individual sports versus team sports, were you always a team sport player? And how do you find team sport? And now, obviously, having had a coaching lens on as well, like the composition of a team is fascinating to me.
Yeah, I certainly only really played team sports. I was a softballer as well when I was younger, which I constantly thank my family for. Like, first of all, team sports, but second of all, hockey's obviously stick and ball, but softball involves throwing. So there's other skills and attributes that come with playing different sports. That was really good, but team sport. And I have said before that I don't think that if I was an individual sport that I would have ever been an Olympic gold medalist. That pushing each other from within the team. I mean, the coach sets that scene, sets that standard for sure, and that's what Rick Charlesworth did for us. But the team really drove it. We challenged each other, we pushed each other, and I think in the end that's what drove us to continually want to be better and to not stop.
And in terms of coachability and selection process from when you were playing, let's call it the 2000 campaign, to coaching now, has the role of like selecting a player or the facets of selecting a player changed at all?
From what I can see, I think the answer is yes. Certainly, maybe I just wasn't as aware, but the policies and the procedures that go around selection, I'm not sure were as robust back then as they are now. our group was a little, well, I'm putting my hand up for this. There's no guarantee that it will happen. You can work your butt off and feel like you deserve an opportunity. But if others are better, then no, you don't. And I think these days there's a need to be more robust with and more, I suppose, out there and involving athletes in what it actually looks like. How do you want it to look like? How do you want to find out? Well, we definitely did that aspect of it. How do you want to learn about the team? There's more avenues these days for that information flowing as well. But for it to all be transparent, for athletes to be engaged in the process around understanding what's going to happen, what competitions are aligned for selection, when selection will take place, how you want to find out about selection, are all decisions that the athletes are involved in. And then there's the behind the scenes, well, here's a selection policy, here's what we're following. And I think that is a lot more robust and transparent than what it used to be.
And from a player to a coach relationship when you're playing, and then from a coach to a player relationship as a coach, how hard is it from a friendship point of view versus a serious point of view around hard conversations?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, I had my sister in my team as well, so you get beyond friendships as well. Because I mean, I had a literal sister, but you spend so much time, and all of the ups and downs that you go through are with teammates, and so it's a difficult time because you are happy for yourself if you've been selected, and then you're upset. You do know it's coming. Everyone knows it's coming. Everyone knows it's hard, and it doesn't matter which side of the ledger you fall, there is mixed emotions, always mixed emotions. But it is what you put your hand up for. It is high performance sport, and I've always said if you can't take those lows of injury, non-selection, then you don't get the highs. You don't get to stand on the podium for Australia if you're not prepared to put yourself through those low points. It's difficult as a coach because then you're the one deciding. As a player, you can absolve yourself from any responsibility and say, aren't they bad? Or yeah, this is terrible. Or actually be a good teammate and say, well, have you had the discussion? Have you got your feedback? Such and such has been doing really well. There's ways to also approach it. As a coach, it's probably the most difficult thing that you have to do, especially when it gets to World Cup and Olympic selections that, the Olympics and World Cups as well, they only come around every 4 years. So you are training, the sacrifices that you make, the hard work that you go through, the identity of yourself that is wrapped up in the sport that you play, it's devastating. So it is really hard as a coach to deliver that information.
When you were playing hockey, were you enjoying it? Were you having fun?
Mostly, yes. Mostly, yes. I mean, the sooner you can, I suppose there's that initial phase that is, I'm putting on the uniform. This is great. This is exciting. To then expectations being placed on you, to then learning how to deal with those expectations, and then taking your game to that next level that is, I love that expectation. I want to be that person. I want to be the one. I wanted to be the one that puts the ball in the back of the net. I saw it as I'm certainly on the positive outlook in life side of things, because I always thought as a striker I had a much easier job than defenders, because as an attacker who was responsible for scoring goals, okay, there's a responsibility there, but I always thought that, well, before the game I've got no goals. So the worst that can end up is at the end of the game I still have no goals. So there is only for me upside. If you miss a great build-up of play and the ball just sails just wide and it's been really great hockey, the crowd goes, oh, God, that was still good. If you're a defender and you let a goal in, you're buggered. You're buggered no matter what. So I do have that positive side as well. I'm going to have a go at this. I was a little bit fearless in those terms. So mostly enjoyed it. It was.
And what about the big moments? Did it
work?
Yeah. What about the big moments? Did you enjoy the big moments, the pressure moments, and how did you go about dealing with them, saying this is a really fun or really cool or really nerve-wracking and all the above?
Yeah, it is all of the above. Atlanta Olympics comes to mind for, I suppose, nerves and anxiousness. It's my first Olympics. The team had been doing really well, and I'd essentially forced my way into this team. I decided I was going to do this, and I'm really going for it. Wherever the chips may fall, I'm having a go at getting into this team. And once we knew we were in the Olympic final, which happened quite a few days out, because in Atlanta there were only 8 teams. So you played everyone once, and then the top 2 teams just played in the gold medal playoff. So every game mattered, critical. And we had one draw during the round games. So then we're playing Korea again, who we drew with. And when I looked back at the tape, when I was like walking onto the field, I could actually see how anxious I was, like in my face. And I'd spent those 4 days before the game, we played late at night, so a full day, not sleeping as well as I might have, been really anxious about this game that was coming, the uncertainty, the unknown, mixed with excitement. Oh, we've made the Olympic final. I'm going home with an Olympic medal. Never in our group was the attitude that silver is good enough. Never. We came for gold. We might have come to play in that late game, but the idea is to absolutely win that game. So the job's not done. There's some uncertainty, but there's also that little bit of excitement about knowing that you're in that game and you're going home with the medal. I started terribly in that game, terribly, like so anxious, so nervous that I was so gripped, so tight on my stick, not playing naturally. And it wasn't until I got substituted in our normal rotation system that I just, like, big breath, like, isn't this where you want to be? Isn't this what you want to be doing? I don't want to be sitting at home watching people do this. I want to be doing it. So it's like this, okay, there's the freedom just to go, just to play. Managed to score a goal in the second half to take us 2 goals ahead. And I remember all of that happening, all those feelings of anxiousness, and then, no, okay, I'm going to go deliver. I know what I'm doing. This is hockey. I know this place.
When you were ahead and there was a little bit of time left on the clock, did you just want the time just to, like, please stay on the field for another day?
Yeah, it was like, okay, don't let the Olympics be over. It's one of the saddest things is when you're building, you've been training for years, the excitement of it. I mean, the uniform, the Olympic villages, the food halls, you train, and then you've got to train to not be distracted by all of that stuff and to be able to deliver on the field and do what it is you're there to do in order to give your best performance. And then when it's over, it's sad. And because we've got a tournament that runs the whole way through, there's no, our competition's over, I can just, kick back and relax and enjoy. It's usually just the day before or 2 days before the closing ceremony, and it's all over. So yeah, I mean, that's why it's easy to say the clear majority of it was fun and a great experience.
I'm curious, I'm just going to touch on the topic around enjoying the moment versus performing under pressure. In a previous podcast, I chatted to Adam Voges, who's a cricket coach out in Western Australia, and some of his players have gone on to play for Australia, and their desire, and a lot of kids' desires in cricket, is to put on that baggy green and to play Test cricket for Australia. But then it could last from 0 to 1 test, right? And you fail or you get a duck or whatever. And then there's that ideation of, like, you made the Olympic final, you got to medal no matter what, but now's the time to take the next step. How do people go with that, and how did you go with that in terms of like that you were talking about wanting to get picked in 96, which must have been a joyous moment to be picked to kind of get your goal, but then it's like, no, we're going further here.
Yeah. It definitely is that. And I was, as I said before, that whole head down, bum up, any aspiring athlete, that's it. Because you do not want, if you get there, you do not want to be it one shot, one chance. But that's what you're training for. It's not just to get the baggy green, to get the bodysuit. It's to stay in it and to be that player, coached in the pathway. And that's exactly the message. Your job is to become the best player you can be. Not to get the baggy green, not to get the bodysuit. It's to become the best player you can be. All the other stuff is out of your control. So it is, constantly challenging yourself to be better. So when I decided I was just going to, I had relied on natural talent for too long. So, I'm sending that message now, and the pathway as a coach, delivering that from a lesson that I learned, which is I got to first put on the bodysuit just because I was naturally talented at hockey, fast, loved scoring a goal. Well, that's not sustainable. That's not enough. You have to be fit. You have to fix your mindset. There's so much that's involved in playing at the elite level, staying at the elite level, and winning, and actually winning, and being purposeful about it. And when I found out that I'd made the Olympic team, first of all, I made them double check, because at that stage we were calling the office, and the receptionist was looking down a list and looking for your name and saying yes or no. That's it. Couldn't find out about anyone else, just about yourself. And when I rang, I said, it's Katrina Powell calling. Yep, you're on. Okay, just checking that it's Katrina Powell. I was so scared that she would see Lisa Powell and say, yes, you're in, and she'd be telling me that my sister was in and not me. So I was, for a little while, I was that worried that someone was going to turn and go, no, sorry, that was a mistake. You're not actually in the team. So it was a little bit of disbelief and just absolute exuberance, like just that achieving that first step in that goal, to then going, oh shit, what have I done? What have I done? I have to go and play the Olympics. I have to, like, that minute of panic that is, I'm taking on this responsibility for, like, not just women that want to play, girls that want to play for Australia, but the Olympics, when everyone is watching around Australia. And I've been at home watching the Olympics before, and how much you want people to do their best and play well, and certainly not be embarrassed on a world stage. But that didn't last too long. It was, right, how now do I keep working? Because I don't want to be, I pushed my way in. I don't want to be the worst player in this team. I want to be the reason that we don't come home with Olympic gold medal. I'm going to work right up and until. And that is all those things that you were talking about before, which is opposition scouting. You do worry about yourself, your team, how good we are and what we're putting on the park. Who are we playing? Always who's in your pool, who you're going to face in quarterfinals. You've got to keep an eye on everything else that's going on as well, and how do we stop teams as much as back ourselves, our brand, to be able to just go out and win doing what we want to do.
That's brilliant. I'm going to touch on one question before we get into some regular questions in the podcast. But the question that I have is, what's one lesson that you've taken out of playing hockey and coaching hockey that you have taken into life and it applies everywhere?
That life doesn't owe you anything. No matter how hard you work, no matter how kind, mean, brilliant, not smart you are, it doesn't owe you anything, and you are in charge of what you do. That's it. You got to take responsibility and accountability for what you do, but nothing is owed to you. So take your chances when they come, and work hard for those chances.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's so true on everything. You can't, people that have what they call the below the line blame on things. It's hard to sometimes hard to hang around people that sort of, because of this, because of that, because of this. And you're like, I understand that. Or like, for instance, even kids when they go, look, the pitch wasn't very good today. Or the umpire's decisions or something. And my question back to them, like, is that, didn't both teams have that? Yeah, but it's just one of those things anyway.
You got to learn, because if you're quick to blame umpires or field or temperature or weather, whatever it is,
or player selection or whatever,
it stops you from looking at the reasons why you might not have been successful, and therefore improving.
Yeah, no, that's right. Now we ask our guests about their scoreboard moment, which is a moment in their lives which is so visible and visual, and from that, life change for the better. Katrina, I'm curious around what your scoreboard moment may be.
Look, I can still feel the moment that I got to score in the Atlanta Olympics, and it changed everything. Not just because I scored, but it was the winning. The timing of it, and being a striker, he spoke about having that responsibility. I wanted it. I wanted to be the one, and then I got that chance to do it in an Olympic final. Missed heaps of opportunities. Missed plenty of goals in all competitions. But being able to see that one go in the net. I think one of the things I like about it most is there's this one shot of it that is out of the goalkeeper's. It must be out of the goal, facing back to the field, and every one of my teammates at the same time, as soon as that ball went in the net, just everyone like straight up, and it's that team sense. It's the doing it for the team, that there's no way that one goal, it's right place, right time, sure. But we didn't get there on one goal. We didn't finish on that one goal. But the whole team being able to celebrate and be happy for each other, it didn't matter who was the final piece or who gets it done or who saves the goal, that we're all in this together. Whether we win or lose together, there's no blaming anyone else. There's no looking externally. If we play well enough, we knew. If we played well enough on the day, well enough in the competition, got through some of the unlucky things that happen, rainfall, terrible turfs that slow us down when we didn't want to be slowed down, bad umpiring decisions that see us go down 1-0. We knew that we could get through those things that got thrown at us. But mostly if we played our best hockey, we were in a good shot of winning. So you deliver, you win. And so no matter how we're going to get that done or who got it done at the time, the whole team, knowing that we're responsible for all of that, and the players that didn't actually get on the plane, the preparation for all of that, the players that were not selected, the staff. I mean, we had an amazing crew of staff. Then it was the team thing that then did it for me finally. That has one of my favourite events.
That is an all-time favourite sporting moment, and one of the questions I ask my guests is their all-time favourite sporting moment. But now I'm going to preface it that it doesn't involve you.
Okay. I'm going to say Australia winning America's Cup in like 83. Because I remember...
Have you been talking to Fletcher Dyson, have you?
No.
Fletcher's the same moment too.
Oh, really? My dad woke us up. We'd been kind of following along, and he'd definitely been watching it. I grew up in Canberra. We are not near the ocean. That's not... The beach was not part of my upbringing, except when you go and visit grandma at the coast. So, I remember my dad waking us up, making sure we saw it, understood what was going on. And I can still feel that whole sense of pride in being Australian and what you can do when sport industry. Yeah, when a nation comes together to actually do something that hasn't been done before. Great sporting moment.
There's been a number of guests that have mentioned that, and I'm 44, 81 baby, so I kind of missed out on that. But it just seems like it just took not just the nation, but the nation, but also just like everyone that was non-sport related. It kind of gathered everyone into one moment, and Bob Hawke saying there should be a public holiday and all this sort of stuff. So
that stuff, it just like that whole Australian identity piece is wrapped up in a whole lot of stuff that happened at that time. So yeah, it was a good time.
Now we do have a couple of partners and sponsors in Scoreboard, which is fabulous to keep us going and telling stories of the game of sport. Our major sponsor is SwiftX, and SwiftX is Australia's most trusted cryptocurrency platform with over 1.5 million users in Australia and New Zealand. And as part of their campaign, Where Can Crypto Take You?, we run a little segment called the Bucket List Sporting Event, and this is where crypto may take you or may not take you to a sporting event live that you haven't attended thus far. Katrina, I'm curious, where would you love to go as a spectator?
Look, I guess tied up, and my partner is very very keen on Formula One. He is a mechanic by trade. So from what I've seen, so it has made me follow the Formula One, of course, and loving what Oscar Piastri is doing. And to be honest, our dog's name is Weber. So you can read into that as well. Monaco. On a boat, watch the Formula One. It ticks so many boxes. So Monaco, Formula One. Monaco,
come in via the private jet, get on the private boat, go and watch some Formula One, sit by the lake there and have some fun. That sounds like a siren going behind us. It sounds like a dream come true. Now, we also have a partner in Pocketsmith, and Pocketsmith is the personal finance app for the household. CFO the one, keeping the budget in check, paying the bills and kicking goals. Over 80,000 Aussies use Pocketsmith to track their spending, see their net worth and plan ahead with all the money and sport and business and all the serious stuff as adults. Katrina, are you the CFO of your household? Are you a budgeter?
As much as anyone in our household does the budgeting, yes, it's probably me. I do make sure that the bills are paid. I'm definitely into direct debit. Don't make me remember that stuff, because I don't like how early the bills get sent out. I want to keep my money for as long as I can and pay it late. So direct debit's way to go.
Yeah, no, direct debit versus the old school BPay and the old school. What frustrates me a little bit, and I probably should update it, I suppose, is some of the I'm not going to say who it is, but they send out the bills via the post, and they're normally quite large for a quarter or something, and then you're kind of like, oh, I didn't expect that. Whereas I suppose with the direct debit, you probably didn't expect it, but it gets taken out, and you're like, oh, there you go. It is what it is, right? Yeah. But anyway, maybe I should get my bills all into direct debit or pay to, and all these things that are going on. Now, final question for a person that is playing hockey right now, maybe in their mid-teens potentially, or parents out there that are listening, some advice you can give to their kids and or the kid themselves that are out potentially making it to the highest level that you did and achieving your dream come true when it comes to an Olympic gold medal.
Look, I suppose we've already touched on it, which is about essentially wanting it for the right reasons. So if we take hockey, for example, there are 16 athletes get to go to the Olympics. Yeah, so 32 across the genders. Limited. All of it is limited and limited spaces. Both hockey teams do really well with regularly making the Olympics. Let's hope that continues. But you want to be in a team that's going to be on the podium. So it is about being the best player that you can be. First of all, I mean, it's certainly something that I tried to do. One of the things I had up before making the Olympics, or that I continued to go by, which was make them take you. So the minute the selection panel sit down to pick the team, they're picking up pen going, okay, well, we can't go without training. We can't go without Katrina and the team. Right. Okay. What else? So you put yourself in that position by being the best player you can be, not by just wanting to make it or wanting to pull on the uniform or go to the Olympics. Be the best player that you can be. That means you put yourself in the first of all, the fight for medals if you're at that level. Second of all, means when that career comes to an end, you can walk away going, I know I gave it everything. I didn't look for excuses. I tried my best. I trained the hardest I could. All of those things that go together, there are numerous of them that make an elite sports person. If you can truly and honestly tick those things off, you will be able to go on with whatever in your life and be happy with what you've done, not sit at a dinner party in 20 years' time. Oh, I could have been a great, and the umpire did this, or the coach didn't like me, or no. So if you get to be the best version of yourself, the best player you can be, perfect. That's all anyone asks.
What a way to finish, Katrina Powell. Thank you so much for being on Scoreboard, the podcast today, and sharing your story from an athlete to a coach and everything in between. I wish you well on the next phase of your life here in Brisbane. Looking forward to supporting where I can, and thanks again for being part of the series.
Thanks very much for having me.
This has been another episode of Scoreboard with Chris Titley. Go back and check out some of the other episodes you might have missed.